In the village of the valleys, there was two women. A woman named Vanya who crafted shoes, tough and stern but kind and loving, and a bubbly girl named Lilith who danced and sang and picked flowers that she sold by the market. One day Lilith needed a new pair of ballet shoes, so she burst into Vanya's cobbler shop. The two started to talk as Vanya placed the order and started crafting the shoes. Once the shoes were creative, Lilith took them, admiring the handiwork. She says, "Wow, this is amazing. Are you gay?" Vanya blushed, surprised at the forwardness of this question that had come out of left field. Lilith repeated herself. "Are you gay?" "I'm bi," Vanya said. "Oh, that's really cool. So, I'm gay too. How did you realize you were bi?" "I've just always viscerally known. What about you?" "Well, I was dating a man. The relationship sucked, and then I realized I like girls." Despite their first awkward encounter, Lilith and Vanya met up time and time again. Vanya taught Lilith how to make shoes, while Lilith taught Vanya to dance. Eventually, after 4 months, Lilith climbed to the top of the building. It was around noon, the busiest time of the day, as many people were heading towards the market. Lilith looked towards Vanya and shouted, "Vanya, I love you! Will you date me?" Vanya blinked twice. "I don't know why I'm saying this, but yes, of course." After a couple more months into their relationship, Lilith posts a poster saying, "Hello, I know it's last minute, but me and my awesome girlfriend Vanya are getting married at our cobbler shop this weekend. You should totally come." And with a lot of cake and fanfare and festivities, the two of them became married. But I guess all good things must come to an end. During the dead of winter, a plague spreads through the town. First the candlemaker dies, then the mayor, then the doctors, hundreds and hundreds of people, not only in this little village, but in the surrounding area. And somehow, Vanya catches the disease. She calls in Lilith and says, "Lilith, I'm sorry to tell you this, but I'm getting sick. I don't think I have much longer to live." "No, no," Lilith said. "That's not going to happen." "I love you, Lilith, and I'll always be with you." "No, no," Lilith said again. "We don't have to worry about it tonight. Just go." And in the next months, Lilith and Vanya do the very best to make the best out of life. But Vanya's right, and eventually she does die. As Lilith goes down into a spiral of grief, as she saw. After a week of staying home and contemplating her grief, Lilith heads out to buy food from the market. She hears rumors of a hag who lives up top of the crooked peaks, a woman who can bring people back to life. And in that moment, Lilith knew she had to make that journey. She knew she had to try to get back Vanya. Who cares if she died on the arduous journey up? Partway up the mountain, Lilith sees a small shack. She stops by, knocking on the door, and says, "Hello. Yeah, I'm tired, sorry. Anyways, I've been traveling up the mountain, kind of need a place to stay. Can you help me?" And the person in front of the door is an old woman, a fortune teller, and she says, "Yes, of course, come right in." And Lilith marches on in, and the fortune teller says, "Well, can I tell your fortune?" And Lilith says, "Yeah, sure, go right ahead." "I can tell you've lost someone, and I know you're going to the top of the mountain to try to bring her back to life. But that's not going to work. She's fine, she's happy in the afterlife, surrounded by golden light. You're the one who just needs to get over the death." "Well, man,
That's a load of bullshit. I'm gonna go up to back up the mountain and resurrect my hot and sweet girlfriend. Wife, I mean.
Lilith leaves, heading on the path once more. Further up, she meets a small hiker, heading back down. He carries a bundle of wood underneath his arm, and he says, "Hello, young lady. Be careful. There's some strange creatures in the woods, creatures talked of in fairy tales called shifters. They can look like anyone or anything, and you need to be careful. But I think I can give you something to protect yourself." He gives Lilith a small knife made out of wood. "Hold this. The creatures are scared of this." Lilith nods, heading further up the mountain. Up ahead, she sees a figure, Vanya. And even though just moments ago she was told of these creatures, her heart yearns and aches to see Vanya. "Vanya, is that you?" "Hello, little one," the voice says, and Lilith realizes this isn't Vanya. She'll never see Vanya again. She clutches the knife, holding it out, and says, "Back away!" And then she turns, running down another path as she heads further up the mountain. Lilith continues to trudge through the snow. She struggles to find food and water, and with the freezing temperature, she can't sleep. She's not sure if she's hallucinating or if it's real, but up ahead, she sees the vision of the goddess of death. Lilith holds out her hand and begs and pleads, "Please, please let me. I lost my wife, Vanya. Please, can you help me?" The figure, she just smiles. In an instant, she disappears in a puff of feathers, and Lilith is still not sure if it was real or just a hallucination. But still, she knows she needs to continue walking forward. A few feet later, Lilith collapses onto the snow, sobbing about everything that's happened. But then she gets on her knees. Up ahead, she sees the small hut where the hag was supposed to live. She slowly climbs up, knocking on the door. The woman appears, and Lilith says, "Are you the woman they talk of? Yes. They call me the hag, but I can't bring people back to life. I don't really have magic." Lilith stared. "Oh, I guess this all has been futile." "Yes, I know. I'm sorry. I don't know how the rumor started, but hundreds of people have been coming up here to ask me for advice, but I can't do anything." Lilith suddenly gets an idea. She takes off her wedding ring and hands it over and says, "Look, this is my most valuable possession. I ask you to start something here, maybe a shrine, something to help grieving people." The woman nods. "I'll do my best." Lilith turns and says, "I'll try to find another way to deal with this." The woman smiles. "It's a hard journey, but I believe in you and your loved one. She's happy in the afterlife. She's warm and lovely, and you'll both be happy one day." And Lilith goes back down the mountain and back to the village. And for a while, the grief is still with her. She works through it, she talks through it, she does everything she can to honor Vanya. And even though it never completely goes away, it becomes easier. And 5 years later, she starts a relationship with another woman, an orange-haired lady named Melissa. And together, they continue to make shoes to honor Vanya, to help other people grieving, and to hopefully make the world a better place.